This is the Grandmaster video for Chapter 9, Section 2. So we're going to do some critical thinking problems. Question 1. A total of 507 dogs and people participate in a dog walk fundraiser. We are given the total leg count of 1,578 legs. So that's people's legs and dogs' legs together. How many dogs are there? Okay. I'm going to create a couple of let statements. So let number of people, however many there are, so let that be P, and let number of dogs, we'll call them D. Alright, so using P's and D's, we should be able to construct a couple of equations. The first one's rather simple. We know that the number of people plus the number of dogs is 507. Alright? But this on its own, it's not enough. Okay? Well, fortunately, we have the total number of legs, and of course we are assuming no one's missing any legs, so that means 2 legs per person plus 4 legs per dog is equal to 1,578. Okay. So before we can perform elimination, we first have to choose which variable to eliminate, and we may have to adjust one or both of the equations. Now normally it doesn't matter, you just pick whichever one's easiest. But the question asks just for dogs. It doesn't ask for how many people. So it might be wise just to eliminate the p's altogether, solve for d, and then the question's done. We actually do not need to completely solve the system. So in order to get the p's to eliminate, if this is a positive 2, I can take the top equation and multiply both sides by negative 2. That should do the trick. So this is going to give me negative 2p minus 2d equals negative 1,014. The second equation, I didn't do anything. So this is still 2p plus 4d is equal to 1,578. So now we can add them together going vertically. So the p's just cancel because negative 2p plus 2p is 0. Negative 2d plus 4d is positive 2d. Okay. And then we have 1,014, or negative I should say, plus 1,578 gives us 564. And we can now solve for d quickly by dividing both sides by 2. And D, which again is how many dogs, is 282. So there are 282 dogs in this fundraiser. Now normally we'd probably solve for the number of people, which would be very simple. It'd be 507 minus 282. But the question doesn't ask for that. It just wants to know how many dogs. We've answered that. We're done. Next, a person invests $3,000 in 2 different investment accounts. A year later, the safer investment earns 3% interest, and the riskier investment earns 5.6%. If the total interest earned is $122.50, how much money was originally invested in each account? All right. So we need a couple of let statements. So let account number 1, so this is the safer account, and we'll call that S for safe. And let account number 2, however much we put in that one, that was the riskier one, we can call that R. Okay, now we know that in total $3,000 was invested. That's an easy equation to write out. So S plus R is 3,000. Okay, but on its own, this is not enough, right? We could invest $1,500 in each account, which would give 3,000, or we could invest $2,000 in the safe account and $1,000 in the risky account, and this would still work. But if you're just to choose random numbers that add to 3,000, your chances are your interests, or the interest earned, I should say, is not going to add up to this. So the next equation has to depend on the interest earned. Now we're told that 3% interest is earned in a year in the safer account. Well, how do you find 3% of a number? Well, you first express 3% as a decimal, which is 0.03. And if you multiply that by your amount, that actually gives you the percentage. So 0.03 times S, that gives you 3% of that amount, which is the actual interest earned. Plus, and we're told that 5.6% interest is earned. So if we want to figure out that percentage of R, we just multiply that by 0.056 R. And we are given the total interest earned, which is 122.50. So this is our system. So in order to apply elimination, we need to first choose which variable to eliminate. The choice is yours. I'm going to eliminate S first. Why not? So if this is a 1 and this is 0.03, I'm going to multiply both sides by negative 0.03. What you do to one side, you must do to the other. Okay. So this first equation, when I multiply it out, is negative 0.03 S minus 0.03 R, and that is equal to negative 90. Of course, when you're dealing with numbers like this, I would give you a calculator, hence the little picture at the top of the page. And then the second equation is 0.03 S plus 0.056 R, and that is still equal to 122.50. So now we can add them together, and the S's will be eliminated because these coefficients are equal by size and opposite in sign. So if you add these together going down, you get 0. But you add these together, so you have 0.03 negative, that is, plus 0.056, and you get positive 0.026 R. Okay, and then negative 90 plus 122.5, I get 32.5. You can put a 0 on the end, doesn't really matter. And we'll finish off. We'll divide both sides by this ugly coefficient. And I get R is 1250. So that is how many dollars was invested in the riskier account. So the only thing we need to do now is determine what was invested in the other account. And that's pretty easy. Right. We can use any equation, but I would use the one in red. That was the simplest. So S plus R, but I know R is already 1250. So S plus 1250 is 3000. Okay. Well, let's solve for S. So let's just subtract 1250 from both sides, and you get S is equal to 1750. So the two amounts invested, so we're just answering the question, are $1,250. So that went in the safer account, and that earned 3%. And $1,750. That went into the riskier one. All right, we are done.